Evolution theories, Darwin and Wallace. Charles Darwin became the naturalist of HMS Beagle. In 1831 he began a journey of 5 years to South America and the South Sea Islands. During the journey, Darwin visited the Galapagos Islands. He discovered similarities and differences in lots of different animals on his trip there. Darwin's finches. Darwin collected many specimens. He made observations and kept written notes. One of the things he particularly noticed was that on the island there were a variety of different types of finches that had evolved for different reasons. Darwin's theory. After returning from HMS Beagle, Darwin worked on his groundbreaking ideas. These ideas were not accepted at first because they were different from the conventional views of creation, and he needed a great deal of evidence to back them up. His book on the origin of species by means of natural selection was published in the year 1859. The central tenet of Darwin's theory is that all living organisms have evolved from organisms which are simpler and became more complex over time. These organisms, which are best suited to their environment, will breed and pass on their desirable characteristics. We call this phenomenon survival of the fittest. Darwin made many observations. From his voyage he noted some organisms produce more offspring than they need to replace them. Despite this overproduction, organism populations remain stable and organisms are not identical. There is variation. Very important observation by Darwin. He made some deductions from his observations. Even though many offspring are produced and the population stays the same, there is obviously a struggle for existence. Many organisms die in their quest for resources, but those organisms best suited to their environment will survive to reproduce and prosper. Alfred Russel Wallace was also a very important part of the science of evolution, and is best known for his study in warning coloration in animals, as well as his theory of speciation, formation of new and distinct species during evolution. He was working on the same theory as Darwin, and when Darwin found out, he was forced to publish on the origin of species sooner than he would have liked to. Neanderthals had physical features that helped them survive cold climates, like large noses to humidify and warm dry, cold air, and short, stout bodies to conserve the heat. Early Homo sapiens had technology that Neanderthals didn't, including sewing needles to make clothing, important during the colder periods of the Ice Ages. They also had innovative tools like bows and arrows, and seemed to have a more diverse diet than their Neanderthal cousins. Sailors themselves did not make much of a contribution to the dodo's extinction, says Classens. At most there are a few hundred people living in a coastal settlement, he says. The problem was more likely the ship rats and other animals they brought with them, which spread across the island eating dodo eggs and out-competing the birds for food. The last confirmed sightings came in the 1660s. The dodo was lost forever. Now it's time for some questions. Let's see how well you've learned during the course of this film. Are you ready? Here we go. Charles Darwin voyaged on HMS Beagle. True or false? The answer is true. Alfred Russel Wallace wrote on the origin of species. Is that true or false? It's false. quick fire round this, so you're going to have to be quick. I'm sure you will be. All living organisms have evolved from organisms which are simpler and become more complex. And that's true. Well done if you got that one. Those organisms best suited to their environment survive to reproduce. Is that true or false? It's true. The dodo became extinct because it was hunted by sailors who landed on this island. True or false? It's likely false because it's more likely to have been rats or other creatures brought to the island by the sailors on their ship. I hope you did well. Well done if you got all those questions right. Good luck on your exam.